Last week on Wandering Monster, Fastinus poisoned the local well water of Bastion with a mountain of the addictive and supernatural drug known as ash. His plan to bring chaos to the fore was a success. The island of Bastion tore itself apart. Making their escape to their dinghy, Ralph was ripped apart by the ash-filled corpse of a former friend, and Glowbones, the luminescent bartender, joined the crew. The party, guided by visions of Basatan, rode for the island of Dreadwater, where the very jungle attempted to devour the crew. Escaping with their lives, they discovered a hidden and dilapidated temple to an unknown god. Sending their loyal pets, Island K and Steamboat Willie, in to investigate, the animals were swallowed by darkness, leaving the crew no choice but to delve in after. What horrors await in the silent and shadowy crypt? Find out now on Wandering Monster. Roll initiative!
So we find ourselves at the edge of this plaza, in the middle of this jungle in Dreadwater. Surrounding you on all sides is this very thick primordial growth. As you get closer to the temple, you've kind of entered into this like bubble of silence in which all of these sounds, the riots of all of the nocturnal creatures, the strange fauna and flora constantly battling it out, is subdued, and there's this quiet hush on everything. It's that sense of quietude that is just wrong in itself that makes your hackles raise, the goose flesh spreads across your body, and you had sent in your two loyal pet companions into the temple to kind of give a little bit of a scout to see if it's safe for you to adventure. And they haven't returned. Things feel a little bit on the knife edge, just a lot of tension in general, that same type of unease that you have when you have a really bad head cold, and not being able to hear things just kind of makes you irritable and uncomfortable and always feeling like you're very vulnerable. That's what you have when you're staring at this gaping mouth of entrance to this stone edifice. The outside of it is very worn. There are cannon blasts and gunshot pocked along the outside, defacing what probably at what point were very ornate carvings, further worn down just by tempestuous weather and other things. But it's this almost feeling like you are entering inside of like a sleeping beast. Before you enter into this temple, how long do you wait for your companions to come back? Or do you just wait a few minutes and then go in when they don't return to you immediately?
Burnout is pacing. He is so nervous.
Yeah, I don't think we'd wait too long. Those are two beloved members of our crew, you know. A monkey and a parrot are crew members on a pirate vessel.
Friends, I think we done fucked up by sending our little mates in there. Shall we rectify our mistake and make haste into the darkness?
Yeah, we need to go. Monkey, this is bad. This is bad.
It's what they would have wanted.
Glowbones, Burnout, you lead the way.
All right, Burnout pulls out his saber, and do you want your machete back now that we're here? Because I still have it.
Please.
All right, one machete for you.
I assume Glowbones would have his own gear.
Maybe.
I don't know if we have the spell or enough ash to make him grow another arm.
Ian, does Glowbones have his own gear?
But you really didn't give him a lot of time to pick up any gear when you fled from the ash hole. So he was basically, all he has on him is his very gross apron that is perpetually like phlegm and ash stained, now with other things from your flight from the tunnel and then battle in the jungle. So he looks at you and he goes, if you expect me to go in there, you best fucking give me a weapon.
I hand the fishing rod.
I was going to say, I have a shovel. I've been trying to pawn off on somebody.
Don't be silly.
I handed my machete.
Yeah, I was going to say there was an extra machete.
Yeah, no, I'd absolutely give him my machete.
He
no
pats
qualms.
you on the arm, and it makes a hearty slapping sound, which is weird because there's this pocket of silence. He looks at your shoulder and goes, "Well, if we were back at the ash, well, I would definitely give you a round on the house, but I guess I'll be in your debt." And he takes the machete and just tests the edge of it on the side of his apron. Takes a lot of trust as he goes, and he looks at the edge and he goes, that'll rightly do. All right, Burnout. I'll let you take points so you can get your monkey back, and I'll be right behind you."
Okay, right. All right, so Burnout.
I'll be right behind those two since I've got a projectile weapon, a ranged weapon.
Burnout does the sneakiest cartoonish tiptoes that one can do. Where
Xylophone noise.
yeah,
Yeah.
He's scurrying up to the entrance and he's kind of like peeking his head around to have a look.
Spike, Death Turtle, you watch the entrance. Make sure nothing tries to sneak up on us, yeah?
Absolutely.
Does he have a gun?
No, you do, but Death Turtle has spells.
Okay.
And I'll stand in the doorway. Nothing gonna get past me.
All right, then I will take my gun and go with the other ones.
Nothing gets past you, John.
Burnout, as you poke your head into the entranceway, the light from glow bones spills into the space, punctuating what would otherwise be abject gloom. And through the kind of his shifting luminous light, you can faintly make out like a small antechamber, the center of which is dominated by a low, round-lipped pool of some kind. To the side, you see that there is a skeleton that is draped across the side of the edge with its arm in the water. Most of its clothing has rotted away, and its skull is turned away from you. Beyond
so
it,
piratey.
on the other side of this chamber, you see that there is a doorway, or I guess a passageway leading deeper into the temple.
As soon as we're like the front two and then me right behind them are in the chamber, I point to the liquid in the depression and go, "Don't drink that." I mean, I figured the skeleton with its hand in the water is a sign that it's probably not good to drink that.
Are you using any other light source beyond the very dim light of glow bones?
I don't think I have a.
I don't think I have
I
one
don't think I
packed.
have anything.
Yeah, I think we just have a glow bones.
Yep.
Fishing rods don't emit light. Monkey not with me. That
Is that a
doesn't
standard
help.
issue glow bones?
I've
I
got a
don't have many.
bucket. Unless I have a
It's
bunch of
metric,
glowworms
Bridget.
in said bucket, doesn't
It's a
help.
metric glow bones.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Metric.
Let's see.
That's heavier than a standard weight glow bones. Just to let you know.
True. I mean, I guess we could improvise a torch, but because I mean, I have like a
You got.
fairly empty satchel I could rip up or whatever. We have a
Do
shovel.
you still have some rum on you that we could like wrap around some fabric on a stick?
I
Well,
think
how
I
bright
do.
is glow bones?
Well, he's wearing his apron and his shirt, so he will strip off his apron and goes, "Well, if you want to soak this in rum and wrap it around a torch, have it."
And also, if we
Without
want
the
to
apron, does
soak
it
in
then
the
glow
sight
more?
of
He does a little bit more.
Okay.
yeah.
Can
Is
I-
he wearing a shirt under the
question for
apron,
you,
or is he
Ian?
just topless now?
I have a maybe more important question. How flammable is ash?
We're not burning
It's
the
bone
ash.
material, so it is not flammable.
Okay, lovely. I just remember you saying his apron was stained with ash and phlegm. I was like,
Phlegm.
I don't want to create a meth explosion.
If you are wrapping it around something, there's definitely a crunch and crinkling sound that the apron makes as it breaks a lot of those crust layers. It's odd what sounds punctuate this weird silence. You can't hear your own breath, but you can hear your heartbeat. You really have a hard time hearing each other. So it's this odd thing where it's almost like something is picking and choosing what sounds to omit and what to amplify.
So we are trying the apron, stick plus rum to equal torch.
Sure. Yeah. Let's
Okay.
do it.
Once we do that, I would like to investigate for signs of monkey and or parrot.
So there's a muted whoomph as your torch lights up. You can see it's crackling, but you can't hear the crackles. Along the walls, you can see that there are chiseled murals. You see scenes that look like people, like processions of ornately garbed people. You see sacrifices being led bound hand and foot, or sometimes carried across a pole. Other things as if these figures are marching down this corridor in front of you. If you look at the floor, you see that there are signs of a very old scuffle. You see there's miscellaneous bone and body fragments that are petrified along the floor. The pool itself is very brackish, dark, and kind of foul. But you're not seeing anything that immediately says monkey or parrot, except looks like at the very edge of your torchlight through this corridor, you think you see one of the feathers. What color is Violent K primarily?
Violent K is a gray macaw.
Gray. Okay. Do you
You
see
know
a gray
the one,
feather?
like the giant gray birds.
Mhm.
He does have colorful splashes on his face that look like clown makeup.
Mm.
Because I'm keeping this show going, baby.
I'm proud of you. Commit to
Commit to the
the
bit.
bit.
So we found one feather near a path.
Yes.
Well,
So
we
you're in
see it,
a square antechamber, and the opposite side of it is a corridor that leads deeper into the temple.
All right, I would make my way towards the feather, pick it up, and continue down that direction.
As you pick up the feather, roll me a presence check.
Okay, I did that. I rolled that. Let's move on.
You know, it's helpful if you people just tell me the numbers that you roll.
3 with no modifier.
Okay,
Mm.
great.
Not good.
So you don't notice anything obvious. The difficulty in perception is kind of almost like this place is kind of warping your senses. It makes it hard for you to kind of get your bearings, and you feel like you're getting a bit of a headache. Are you holding the torch, Burnout?
I imagined Glowbones was holding it because that's his job, his lantern.
It's true.
But that is going to override his glowing. But
Yeah, that seems like a
torch
waste
there.
of a resource. Let's say Burnout's holding it for now.
All right, fine. I'll hold the torch.
Well, you're in
and
front.
Be in front and have a sword. Because we all know that I'm the leader because I'm up front and not John's character who's been telling us what to do.
That all checks out with me.
So as you continue going through this corridor, it opens into a large vaulted space. You can see that this is almost cathedral-esque in size, seemingly almost larger on the inside than it seemed from the outside at first. To your left and right in this large rectangular space, you see that there are piles of bones, intact skeletons layered upon each other. You see that there is a mishmash between people who look like, even though their clothing is very rotted away and just falling apart, clearly look to be like some form of pirate. There's some moldering tricorn caps. You see some of those leather chaps, boots, other things, rusted pistols, and sabers and other things. And interspersed amongst them are people who are wearing things almost look like sackcloth, like temple acolytes. At the far end of the space, you see that there are tiered steps that are raised up towards a platform where you see an altar standing. The back of the wall itself is a massive fresco of, and it's hard to tell with the light from here because the far end of this chamber is recessed in shadow, but it seems to be a looming creature of some kind. On that platform on the back, you see that there is a statue that is holding a rod of some type with like maybe some type of emerald or a green stone of some kind that catches a bit of your light. Behind him and the other details are completely covered in shadow.
Shiny.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting that thing, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah.
I'm sure there won't be any consequences to it.
What could possibly happen? I mean, it's just sitting there.
Yeah.
I mean, there's piles and piles and piles. There's so many bodies around here. But I mean, they couldn't possibly be going for that
Right,
one.
there'd be a
gem that's already
sign.
there.
There would be a sign if it was dangerous.
I look to
Right?
see if there's any bones that are parrot or monkey shaped. Not that I'm on a
Are
one
the
track mission.
Are the rest of you advancing into the large chamber as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, although I'm hanging back a little bit since I have, I think, 30 feet of range or so. So, with the musket that I've got.
I'd like to think I'm a little more centrally located because I'm small and squishy, and I'd rather have people around me to take the damage.
I think I'm
Yeah,
a drunk
Turtle, you're
idiot,
at the
so I'm
entrance with
walking
me.
in.
That Turtle
burn-
and Fast are not inside.
Burnout, as Glowbones walks up with you and you advance further into this space, your torchlight starts to extend towards, it almost covers the far end of the chamber as well, the more you enter into this space. And you can see that statue holding that staff isn't a statue, but it is a broad-shouldered skeleton, still dressed in regal priestly uniform. It is moth-eaten, it is slotted and falling apart, but it does nothing to take away from the noble aspect of this figure, who just seems to be just dripping with power. As you look upon him, you see that his empty eye sockets begin to glow with this baleful light. And you see that behind him, there's an open doorway to a space beyond. Behind him, 4 cultists, or at least people that you see in also ornate robes, like skeletons, are behind him. And he, although you can't hear from this distance, raises his staff and begins to, like, you guess, speak words. You see his jaw moving, and you see, instead of hearing sounds, you see little motes and wisps of light beginning to pour out of his mouth.
That would make sense because of his lack of lungs. He can't talk. Light emission's clearly the only way he can communicate. Do I ask him if he knows where my monkey is? Or do I run? This is the internal monologue of an idiot.
But we've also got a guy here who glows. That doesn't inherently mean that just because he's emitted light, like that he's bad. We should hear him out, see what he.
That is true. Partially cover the torch. Left hand. Try to send a signal.
Let's see if his religious ideas intrigue us.
Yeah, he might be a fellow follower. We don't know.
Yeah.
Praise Basatan.
Praise
Yeah.
Basatan.
Please,
Are
Brasatan.
you attempting to initiate a communication, or what are you doing?
Yeah, I take the torch and I go bum 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 bum.
So as you stand there, that that light begins to pour and churn out of his mouth like smoke, and it begins to spread out, like fan out. He is at the top of this platform, and it looks down at the rest of this space, and it kind of wafts and gently begins to split into almost like snake-like tendrils, and you see that they are heading towards the two piles of skeleton on either side of the the corners of this space. As he is kind of weaving this with this well, you're assuming and chanting, the cultists behind him part ways as a excessively large, grotesque skeleton comes out of the door behind him. This is almost as if there's a 8 to 10 foot giant of a man just reduced to a skeleton, folds himself out of the space and just silently stares, watching this scene unfold.
So they don't reply with the same pattern I did.
Nope.
Not gonna lie, this is pretty cool. Like I've definitely am into fighting skeletons because, when I was a kid, all those Harryhausen movies, Seventh Voyage of Sinbad, and all that stuff.
Jason the Argonauts.
But
Yeah.
how much would it mess you up if it actually just puts on a show with those skeletons?
Yeah, can they play the xylophone on their own rib cages?
Like kicking their legs.
Like Rockettes.
Yeah. Clack, clack, clack.
I mean, I don't want to pick a fight with the skeleton army by myself.
Oh no, I'm all in. I am all in to
We're
fighting the
all with
skeletons.
you on this one, I think, except maybe whatever his name is.
As
Fastinus.
those wisps of light begin to get closer to you, as they begin to worm and snake their ways towards those piles of skeletons, you begin to hear this very strange old tongue, a language that you don't recognize, that is rhythmic and is dripping with animosity. It almost sounds like countless drums beating. It is the sound of hearts being ripped from chests. It is the sound of gurgling, dying gasps, and those wisps go into skeletons, raising them out of the pile. There is all of a sudden a pop of sound as if air pressure has been released in this space, and you can hear almost excessively loud the clattering of bones as you see three skeletons on either side of you from these piles erupt forth. They are various pirate garbed. They seem as if they've been kind of pulled up almost like a marionette, and their bones clatter together as they reform into their original configuration. They instinctively reach for weapons, some that are still attached to their sides, some that are currently missing or defunct, but they begin to advance towards you. So we are, who wants to roll for initiative?
I mean, I'm up front, so come on, don't be a 3 again. 9.
Are you rolling a d6?
No, I am not rolling a d6. I made a boo-boo. Hey, John, you're going to edit stuff.
Well, you could always use your devil's luck, remember?
Yeah, let's use my devil's luck, okay? Do I still have my 1 from last time, or did it go back up to 2 because we're in a new session, or because we're still continuing?
I always just have people roll double luck beginning the session, because that gives you a little bit of extra padding. Although Devil's Luck is you would just either be re-rolling that die, and the other modifiers wouldn't apply to the initiative die.
Okay. So re-rolling initiative. It's the exact same one I rolled the last time. Never mind.
Is that a 1?
That is a 1.
So as you are,
That's a 1
kind of,
twice. That's meant to be 1.
you know that this is a space you're not supposed to be in. That this is not a space for outsiders. That you have already kind of willingly known that you have been walking into your own doom here and defiling a place that has already been defiled by those before you, who are now raising swords and arms against you. You definitely feel your blood chill as you realize what a terrible mistake you have made for you and your monkey. You watch these skeletons in horror as they rise and leap at you with almost supernatural speed. So each of you are going to be getting your own personal skeleton with one left over. So Burnout, you're going to be getting the 2 since you're holding the torch and also are making the largest ruckus. So you see that there is a skeleton who looks like the center of his ribs were broken out by a large, I guess, some type of blow, but the rest of him seems very well formed. He pulls out a cutlass and he charges out at you. Even in his deathly state, he attempts to speak some type of terrible oaths of vengeance. But again, as you astutely pointed out, not having lungs, all he does is rattle his teeth, knocking several out in the process. Roll your defense.
We aren't friends today. That's a 9.
You are just feel that doom intensifying even more, locking all of your muscles together. Your flight breaks down and you freeze. You feel the bite of this sword slash into your skin. Oh, that's not good at all. That is, are you wearing armor right now?
Yeah.
All right.
I've got the Spanish armor that all the cool kids have in this game. Weapon, clothing. Is it not a good? Yeah, there it is. Conquistador's armor, minus D6 damage.
Okay, well, that's great. So he slashes at you for 6 points of damage. So you need to roll your D6 to see how much you soak.
5.
All right. So you feel just a kiss of this as it cuts through your armor like a can opener, and you feel that the wound on your chest is already beginning to burn and itch. Another one of these skeletons leaps out at you, and he is holding a rapier that is slightly bent, but he stabs out at you anyways, going in for the can-opened hole in your chest. Roll defense.
Come on, good dice.
Oh, they're doing 2-on-1 on Paschke.
12.
That bite of the sword brings you back to focus, and you dodge out of the way. Next, I'm going to be doing this as kind of a visual since our format is a little different. It's going to be going, when it's your turn, it's going to be Burnout, then it's going to be Death Turtle, followed by Fastinus, then Spike, and then Hornswaggle in rear. I'll do your skeleton attacks in that order as well. So Death Turtle, you see this skeleton clamber to life. It looks like one of his legs is missing and has been replaced with another arm, but he still holds himself upright, and he pulls out a pretty nasty looking rusted dagger. He jumps out at you with like an oddly off-kilter leap and slashes down at you.
All right. I'm going to try to get out of the way. Oh, that's a natural 20.
All right.
So that means I have an attack on him?
Yep. So when you have your defense, you are able to you can make a retaliatory attack.
Okay. I never said I had anything in hand, so I'm probably just going to try to push him out of the way.
All right. Make me a strength check.
Okay. That's a 14 and -1. That's 13.
So he trips because he's off balance a little bit anyways, and he over lunges. You shove him tumbling, clattering back into the pile where he is caught up in the limbs of all of his undead brethren. All right. Fastinus. You see a skeleton pull a rusted...
No. Not unless they came to the entrance.
Oh, you're all the way... So I thought you meant the entrance of this room.
I'm
You're all at the entrance of this place.
literally guarding the entrance of the temple.
Oh, great. Then that means that someone else that's in this space also gets more skeletons. Who
And
else is...
I just want a quick question, Ian. It is important. I can't hear any of this, can I?
Nope, and unless Glowbone stuck back with you, you're not going to be able to really see that well into that space. Just you're going to see some, like, you're not going to get a clear picture of what's happening other than lots of rapid movement and such.
Okay.
So I
don't hear or see shit. I am
Great.
humming and peeling an apple.
That sounds perfect. To clarify,
feels
is
where all the nutrients
somebody
are.
else at the entrance as well, or is it just you, Fastinus?
I had told I had told Spike and Death Turtle to wait at the entrance with me, but they both went in, so I believe it's just me.
Okay, then.
Well, I'm afraid of
Glowbones.
the dark, so
That's fair.
Glowbones is holding his machete ready, and you see a skeleton leap from that pile. He instinctively reaches for a pistol. You see him click. It doesn't work. He throws it to the ground and instead pulls out a dagger and throws it at Glowbones. Someone roll me d20 for Glowbones.
Why don't you roll it?
Well, because I think it's more fun when you kill a player or one of your beloved NPCs.
I'll do it.
Oh.
okay.
R.I.P. Glowbones.
Yeah, for real.
Hardly knew
'cause
ya.
That's a 10. I don't know what his modifier is.
They're not. See, NPCs are not modified, so this dagger hits him square in the chest, and it's like sinks into his form. You can actually see where the dagger goes in his bones. It lodges just below the shoulder here, and you can just see. It almost looks like it's like it bleeds out. It's like a dark cloud that spreads within his body. He doubles over. But he is not down for the count. He pulls the dagger out and holds it with his machete and turns to face the skeleton. Next in attack initiative would be Spike. A skeleton rushes towards you with a club. Roll your defense.
Okay. Should give me modifiers. Great. 4.
4. The skeleton takes this and slams it right into your gut, doubling you over. You can hear the whomp sound of all of your, like, the contents from your lungs being expelled. And that is 4 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oof.
You have armor to soak that?
I do. I also have the Conquistador armor.
That's right.
Yeah, D6. 5.
Right, so it clangs loudly and just puts a dent in your nice armor. That leaves 2 more skeletons. All right. Hornswaggle, you see a skeleton throw himself at you. He has a dagger between his teeth, and he has a very chipped cutlass.
Okay.
Roll your defense.
Alrighty. 14. Do I modify that? Let's see.
Nope, you are able to move out of the way. Your flesh and blood is faster than the dry bones in front of you. All right.
Okay. I am going to counterattack with my rapier. So let's see how that goes. Attack roll. 11. That's a 10. I probably didn't hit with that, did I?
Nope. As you block his attack, he swings in and deflects your blow in turn. You see the priest from on top of his dais looks at all of you, sees the skeletons rising, knocks his staff against the floor, and then just very slowly retreats into the doorframe. The four cultists skeletons file in behind him.
Where are those
And-
chicken shits going?
You, as they are going inside of that space, you're now you can hear again. You hear the sounds of a frantic monkey and parrot screaming. You think you might see something that looks like a small cage. And as they go into that space, the hulking large skeleton slides a large stone slab that fits into the recess, sealing them behind. Top of the initiative is Burnout. You heard your monkey in distress going inside a sealed part of the temple. You have
I
two
think I should give him
skeletons.
like a
attacking it.
+2 modifier on his
Yeah,
strength
he goes
potential.
berserker mode now.
Yeah. Can I know I'm not playing a barbarian class, but I am playing a brute. Can I go into a rage? Can I want to like just run that way, but I'm being attacked by two skeletons.
GM's
Ah.
discretion.
If you want to have a bonus for that, you are welcome to. The challenge is if your monkey dies, it means that you're going to have an equally bad penalty.
I can't let my monkey die. If
Well, you've
my
got skin in
plan-
the game then, unlike these
I know.
dumbass skeletons.
because they're skeletons. If I let the monkey die, then I can't dry lint Ian's house. This is well played, sir. All right. So I want to make a beeline for the monkey. I want to ignore the potential damage I may take. I want to, if I have to, like, they're skeletons. They're light. I could plow through them and knock them apart. I've played
you
video
gonna
games
bust
before.
through
Could he
that
get all
stone
ashed up
slab,
and
though?
go
I will
Like,
give you.
Are you going to bust through the stone slab like the Kool-Aid Man afterward?
Oh yeah.
If you want, I will give you +2 to your strength for this encounter and -2 to your agility.
Oh.
What were you
Yeah.
doing with that agility anyway?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Except for that one
Okay.
time I used in the first session of this campaign. But not
Devil's
since then.
bargain has been struck. You all heard it.
All right. So that's an additional +2 to my strength and a -2 to my agility. That is now noted. So my agility is now a -1 and my strength is +3. I'm okay with this devil's bargain. All right. So I'm rolling strength, right? To
I'm going to have
Kool-Aid
you roll
Man?
strength to push these skeletons aside so you can beeline towards the altar.
All right. So I rolled a 15 to go up to the skeletons and pro wrestler style grab their skulls, bash them together, and then throw them aside and go.
All right. So you are able to push them aside for this turn and have them be someone else in your party's problem as you charge towards the stairs. I'll let you do a full round movement on top of that. So as you start to run towards the foot of the stairs, you see that these stairs run up to a platform where there is an altar. From here, the altar looks very strange. It's circular, almost like a basin, and behind it, you see that there is a small, like a podium or a little pillar that looks like it's meant to hold something. I'll let you get up to the top of the stairs. Why not? I'm feeling generous. You see that this altar almost itself looks like a well. It is a black pit. It has a thick lip around the edges to set bodies or people. It is deeply stained, and there is a foul, cold wind that comes up from this altar well, if you want to say, for lack of better words. It is briny, it is rotting, and it also gives you that feeling of doom. The really excessively large brute of a skeleton stands in front of the door. You can see that some of the bones across it almost look like it's etched, almost like runes or glyphs or something ceremonial about it. And you also see that it carries a very large cudgel. So we'll see what happens when it's its turn. Death Turtle, you're on deck.
All right, seeing Burnout make a mad dash for where his little friend was, and seeing the large burly skeleton in front, can I spiritually possess said large skeleton to open that passageway so we can get that monkey back and get out of here?
We're going to do it the same way that we have been rolling that if you're passing in that direction, it's going to be 50-50.
Yeah.
If it's going to be Burnout or the giant skeleton, and I forgot that you had that ability, so me might just be nerfing my giant skeleton. All right, make the roll.
All right, so 50-50?
Come on.
All right, I'm going to do odds and evens. Odds, skeleton, even, Burnout. Does that sound all right to you?
Sure.
That sounds... Yep.
Odd, it's a 1, so it's skeleton.
Dang.
You're driving that skeleton.
Dang. So would you possess it? You feel an ancient coldness kind of sink into your arms as you command it. It's like the first time that you have spiritually possessed a creature and you feel it actively fighting back. But instead of like an intelligent mind, this thing feels blunt, like it's an instrument, as if it's a plowshare, something that is just obstinate and resisting you, but has no mind of its own. It is just pure force. And you are able to command it to open the door.
Yep.
All right. So this... so first, this lasts for D2 rounds. Why don't you roll real quickly to see how long it lasts?
All right. That is 1 round.
1 round. So just enough time for it to open the door.
Yep.
Okay. There's the loud sound of stone grinding as it strains to move this giant slab out of the way. You see that... kind of like through its eyes that you're almost looking into a vestibule in the space beyond. Next is Fastinus.
I chew on the apple skin.
Yeah, I was going to say, are you moving on from peeling to whistling or something?
Yeah, I am whistling as I chomp. You know what? I
chewing
actually
and whistling.
I don't need
Oh, that's a
no.
mess.
I throw the apple away and I pull out a tomato and I dinner that motherfucker.
So make a presence test.
That'd be an 11.
The tomato is now possessed.
No, that would be a 9. 9.
You're not exactly sure because they're more interested in these luscious provisions than what's really going around you. But the one thing you've really thought odd is in the jungle, there were tons of creatures and carnivorous plants and other things. And yet, as you stare out of the temple, making sure everything is safe, nothing coming in to attack you, you don't see anything that is coming within the radius of the plaza. It's just like this flagstone paved kind of crude plaza, and then immediately it's jungle, as if nothing wants to encroach upon this space. But you can watch the weather, and they're kind of like
that's right. Nothing wants a piece of old Fastinus, they don't. I
Cocky prick.
sorry. Yeah, I assume that I am doing an amazing job protecting my friends. that it is the might of Fastinus, not Fastinus. That's me. Fastinus is me.
Bassiton.
Bassiton. That is keeping everything away, and it is my faith in Bassiton that is empowering that. So I think this is going great.
God is an awesome crab.
God is an awesome crab. Yep.
Hello, it's me, the voice of the Angry Void, here to let you know about a few announcements. Next week, we'll be taking a break from Pirate Borg to host a very special episode with guest GM Brian Collin of Vast Grim, who will be running us through his new Mork Borg hack, Bolt. Kevin Welch's other show, Flail to the Face, episode 16, drops on Friday, January 26th. Next, John Baltisberger has a new book out called The Unclean Verses, an extreme, graphic, and erotic take on Dante's Inferno. Madness Heart Press is pleased to announce the founding of a new imprint, Gutter Mystic Books, a place for satire and creative non-fiction. Finally, we are pleased to announce that Madness Heart Press will be opening its doors for open submissions as of February 1st, 2024. So if you have a splatterpunk, bizarro, psychedelic, experimental, or gonzo creative non-fiction book that you're interested in getting published, go to madnessheart.press/submissions to find out more. Now, back to the carnage.
So, Spike, you just felt your armor get dented in and thankfully not bruise you in the slightest, but you were still looking into the eye sockets of this skeleton that is determined to find its way through your armor.
So I'm gonna take my musket and I'm going to shove it as close to the spine as I can and fire.
I like that. So roll, and you're going to have a substantial bonus, of course, since you are helping it.
4.
Devil's luck. Use devil's luck.
Well, I mean, you're shoving a so it. Are you wanting to use devil's luck, or are you?
What's my bonus?
I was going to give you a +4 bonus. That is not enough. I just figured you would have gotten it.
Oh,
but...
I just realized I was rolling the wrong dice. Sorry. Oh, that's a 19.
Oh, how convenient.
I was rolling a d6 because I was doing my.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a
It would be
little
hard
bit of
to get a
difference.
high roll with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing happened.
So you shove your musket or your rifle into its mouth, breaking all of its teeth except for 2 molars. You get a spare, and you blow out his spine. His head falls off and shatters on the ground. His body stands there for a few minutes, arm still twitching like a smushed bug before it falls over, and all the bones break and turn into piles of ash.
Does this give any pause to the other skeletons?
Nope.
Oh, damn.
They're skeletons. They're just,
You can't intimidate skeletons.
But you
happy
get
to
first
be there.
bone. Instead of first blood, you get first bone, Spike.
Drew first ash. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't make an ash out of yourself. And speaking of which, that brings us to Hornswaggle.
Oh, goody. I'm gonna rapier the skeleton again. Let's see if I can do a little better this time. Come on. Do. Strength sucks so much. I think I'm gonna have to devil's luck that. What's the bonus I can take instead of a reroll?
You can get +4.
That's what I'm gonna do.
You can add or minus. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna add 4, and let's see. That's a 13 minus 1. It's 13 plus 3 basically, since I have a strength of minus was 16.
That was a lot of calculus.
It
Before you
really
use,
wasn't.
Well, before you use your point of devil's luck, the standard attack DR is 12. So did you still want to use your point of devil's luck?
Yeah. I wouldn't have made it otherwise, so yeah.
Oh, I thought you said you got 16.
That's with the 4 points.
So you would have had
Right,
12.
but if you hit 12, you succeed. So you don't need the devil's luck.
Unless you wanted to use it to deal max damage.
See no, you're right. I would have hit it. So with a DR12, I just barely hit it. I can't believe that's
Correct.
so low. All right, cool. Never mind. I'm not going to use that then.
But you can use that if you wanted to roll max damage, for example.
Oh, no. I'll just take whatever damage I get from my regular old D6
Okay.
I think, for the rapier. So
roll your damage.
let's see how bad I fucked this guy up. How's a 4 sound?
So a rapier is hard to attack a skeleton because it's a foil. You are stabbing a small rod into mostly empty space, but you're able to flick your blade in and basically yank outwards. You weave your sword between bones and you rip out half of its spine and rib cage, causing the skeleton to collapse. It collapses into a pile, turning into ash that spills across the floor.
That was
Glowbones for a second.
swashbuckly as hell. Yeah.
He looks very fondly over that pile of ash, and you can see him lick his lips.
I learned my lesson a player ago.
I need to give Glowbones a whack at things. Glowbones takes his machete and swings it at the skeleton in front of him and just barely misses. He scrapes off a bit of the clavicle of one of these skeletons and it turns into a puff of ash in front of him. And you see he kind of gets a wicked grin as he watches the little motes of ash dust dance in the air. Top of the initiatives, the 2 skeletons that were previously left by Jude are going to meander over to the nearest people. So, Death Turtle, you're going to be getting another skeleton, and so is Glowbones.
Fresh skeleton.
Fresh skeleton. So go ahead and roll me a defense, Death Turtle, as you see this one advancing over with a cutlass.
Okay. That is a 16. So
you dodge nimbly out of the way. The other one moves in to attack Glowbones as he's distracted by it looking at the mote of ash. Does someone want to roll for him, or do you want me just to roll for Glowbones?
I say you keep it up.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, well, Glowbones rolled a 19, so Glowbones moves out of the way. He kind of wobbles back and forth, and you see him trying to sniff that bit of ash in the air as he kind of drunkenly moves around. You're not sure how much of it he got. Esther, your skeleton is dead in front of you. You look at the pile and you don't see any more of the skeletons rising up. Death Turtle, the other skeleton that was attacking originally, moves in for another swipe.
Okay. That's a 12. So it's 11. 11.
So you tried to move out of the way, and this blade catches you just across the arm. All right. That is 3 points of damage.
Ooh, no bueno.
You can see that as it's cut into your skin, it's left a big line of rust, and you kind of grimace as you look at and hope that that wound is going to close later.
I'm going to need a tetanus shot.
So as you are looking into this open doorway, it's almost your initiative, Burnout. You see that kind of that skeleton. He just moved the door, and then he jerks a bit, and then turns to you. You hear bones grinding as he looks at you, and you feel this intense glower from the skeleton. You think you hear almost like the equivalent of knuckles cracking as it wraps its hand around the cudgel, and faster than you can even imagine, it brings it down on your head. Roll your defense.
Okay, so defense is strength?
No.
Agility. That's why that was a devil's bargain to have -2 to your agility.
Well, that's you can't like. What if it was strength though? John, am I doing this right?
Nope. Okay, I give you every chance.
All right, so that's a 13 minus 1, so 12.
Oh, well, yes, you made it. With all that preamble, I thought you were gonna be made into jelly there. So you are feeling the rage inside of you as you're worrying about what's happening to your monkey, and you barrel roll out of the way as it crunches down on the stone platform that you're standing on. It cracks and sends little bits of flint everywhere. You kind of roll into that space beyond. Make me an agility check to see if your torch stays lit.
That is a 6.
You know what? I just didn't want you to roll 4 or less, so it stays lit, and you can see the space that you are standing in looks to be like a preparation for ritual. There is a space where almost completely rotten away clothing stands in what looks to be almost like a stone closet. There is a table where there are various stone daggers and bowls and other things. And to your left, you see a staircase descending downwards, almost like a switchback. And it's top the initiative, so you get to go.
Okay, so I saw the monkey and bird, right, in the cage?
You saw just the hint of a cage and the creatures in them, yes.
And am I closer to that? Do I see that still?
So there is that staircase, and you don't see them in this space. So your assumption would be they have gone down that staircase.
Okay, I think I can outrun a 10-foot skeleton. I'm going down the stairs.
All right, so you're taking the major light source of everyone down with you.
Oh, that's right. I do have the torch. I do have the torch. Shit. I am so torn, guys. I don't want to split the party.
Don't worry about it.
Go save your monkey. We've got glow bones.
Okay. All right. BRB, guys. Gots to go get a monkey.
Get that monkey.
I hope you understand someday what I have to do.
One day when we have our own monkeys, we'll know.
When you know the bond between a man and his monkey and his monkey's bird sidekick.
Look, we're all praying for Mojo here. Just go save that monkey.
Okay. Look, I lost Harambe. I can't lose Steamboat Willie.
Hey, Harambe is within us all.
Yeah.
May his memory always be a blessing.
All right, so yeah, I make a beeline down those stairs to try and find that cage that hopefully still has a living bird and monkey in there.
As you're going down these steps, the first thing you notice is that these are actually cut from pure stone. You are descending into rock face. The steps themselves are cold, clammy, and a bit slimy. And you can see that there is lichen and weird things that almost look like kelp or seedweed plastered to the sides of the wall and on the stairs themselves. In fact, you go ahead and make me one quick agility check as you are running down these stairs.
9.
Perfectly fine. I was looking for just catastrophic numbers only, since you have a torch to help guide your way. You hear the sound of water. You hear the sound of your monkey screeching at the top of his lungs, the birds screaming, and you're beginning to hear the sounds of voices like echoing. when you get to the bottom of these stairs, you see that the space opens up and it has a very strange, faintly blue, luminous glow that is beginning to get brighter and brighter. You see that you are on a crushed stone beach that faces what looks like a cenote or like a watery cave, and beyond it there are passageways that lead deeper into the earth, all these water-filled passages. In front of the waterline of this cenote is an altar, and beyond it, right in front of between the altar and where the water of the cenote is, there are lots of bone chips, and the sand itself is deeply stained. You can look above and you see that must be the hole above you. This must connect to that altar above you to drop sacrifices and offerings down to this space. That head priest is standing in front of this altar, flanked by 2 cultist skeletons on either side. There is a large bell on one side and a gong on the other. One of those cultists on each side is holding a clapper, and the other one is holding the cage with the animals. They do not seem to react to your presence as you kind of run into this scene. They begin to move the cages and put them where the stained sand is towards the edge of that cenote. You can see that this glow itself is coming from this very complicated riot of coral that's grown along the side of this chamber in the water, and it's the coral itself giving off this luminescence. I'll let you get like one other half action as you kind of run down these stairs as a full movement. What would you like to do?
Well, I don't have any good religious skills to call out to Basatan for help. It's only a half action, so it's not even a full attack. Could I try to intimidate them and to give me back my monkey?
If you want to make yourself a presence check to let yourself be known in your murderous intent.
That's a nat 20.
Ooh.
Thank you.
Oh, I got this one. So you come bursting out yelling, osteoporosis.
So you cause one of them to drop the cage with Violent K in it, and Violent K flaps off, goes up the hole trying to get away. The other one, the cage holding Willie, is a little bit sturdier since it's meant to contain a mammal, and it is dropped on the ground and it does not free him. All right, next in initiative, Death Turtle. So you have just kind of gotten these 2 attacks from these skeletons as your reaction. And you also know that you have lost control of the giant skeleton at the far end of the room. Now that the torch is gone, all you have is Glowbone's light that helps you to see all the way this immediately around you, but you can no longer see what the large skeleton is doing since that far side of the chamber is now darkened.
Well, he's actually dead to me now. I don't care. He's out of sight, out of mind, sort of thing. I'm going to actually.
He's a skeleton.
Good point. So what I'm going to do is the skeleton that has the arm for a leg, I would like to use the spiritual possession on him to attack the other one. Being as there's 2 there, whichever one I could possess to attack the other one.
Keep in mind, you're in close quarter, so that could also affect Spike. It could also affect Hornswaggle or the other skeletons that are there. That's how we've been using the spell, is whatever's in the radius.
That's perfectly fine. But my focus is on these 2 skeletons getting the fuck away from me.
All right.
So
we'll say the only one skeleton has, or 2 skeletons have been killed, so that's 4 that's left, and you have 2 other party members nearby. So I'd say 1 through 4 is skeleton, and 5 and 6. I guess 5 is going to be Spike, and 6 is going to be Hornswaggle.
So, Hornswaggle, you feel this weird, just this weird, just aura just take over your body. But being as it's an ally, it does say that it's a -2 DR to attacks and defense. So when he attacks and or defends for
D2 rounds,
1 round, this next round, all of his stuff is reduced.
But regardless, it is incredibly gay.
I fully imagine it was a full tournament.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. Yeah.
I'm not mad at it.
Even if it wasn't going to be, they're going to make it that way.
Yeah.
Exactly. I will 100%. Yeah.
For our audio listeners, can you give us your soundbite as the spirit enters your body?
So as I'm looking at the skeleton, fully intending to possess this one, I feel that Hornswaggle is getting all of this action. I'm like, and I give him a shoulder.
The weird thing is when you kind of slip your energies into Hornswaggle, he does not feel exactly like a living creature. He's not exactly dead, but nor is he alive. It's weird. It's just as if you've entered into a glove, like he himself is a vessel, and you feel nothing but hatred and rage as you slip inside. It burns the tips of your fingers.
Also, no heartbeat.
So would that make him a creature?
No, I'm not really dead. I'm sort of in this cursed. I'm like a cursed creature, basically.
Okay.
So not undead.
No, it's just my heart is missing from a mortal wound, but the power of Basatan keeps me alive to wreak his vengeance on all and any.
Perfect.
Also, my favorite Screamo song.
I thought that we ride at the dying of light. We set sail at the dying of light.
Yeah.
So you don't possess the skeleton that you want, but you possess something far worse. As you are staring out at the vista, Fastinus, that kind of feeling of the jungle watching you but not exposing itself just kind of looms more. You can see on the far distance of the horizon there is a storm that is brewing, and you can tell it's not going to hit the island, but it's definitely going to ruin someone's day on an island nearby. What are you doing? You haven't seen your compatriots in a while, and you haven't seen anything outside. You kind of have this feeling that you're kind of in a weird bubble, and it's a little bit disquieting.
I feel the homoerotic joining of Hornswaggle and Death Turtle. I don't know exactly what happened, right? But on a spiritual level, I feel it happened. And I go, Basatan be praised. Don't know what for, but Basatan be praised. I'm not trying to be an asshole, but yeah, I'm not going to leave my post.
Now, what I imagine will happen at some point is your parrot's going to come flying out, hell bent for leather, and that's probably when we're going to get a response out of Fastinus when he's like, "Wait a minute, here's Violent K, but where the fuck it?" Because remember, Violent K is on the loose now.
That's exactly what I assumed was going to happen.
I feel like he should be doing, 1 point of damage to everyone he encounters just on account of being a Juggalo parrot, but doesn't have to be canon.
He does psychic damage as he goes back.
Psychic damage.
Nope, that's canon. Ian, write it down.
I don't know. Charles's soundbite is a lot better than mine. A little bit of a great Malenko. So you have 1 round before Violent K is going to rouse you from your contemplation of the mysteries of Basatan and all of his clacky glory.
It's torpor. Rouse him from his torpor. Let's just be honest. Torpor. Torpor. Yeah.
Love that word. Spike. So you're kind of taking in this. You kind of get that weird, the air charges around you as spectral possession happens a couple of feet away, and you know that, boy, that could have been you being born by Death Turtle. What is your action to the dying of the light in the space, only being illumined by glowbones, still a lot of fighting. You don't know what's happened to at least two of your party members, and what's your action?
I think I should fire wildly into the dark.
Now, do you have an ability to let you reload quickly, or do you need to spend a round reloading?
I got the last round off. So that was because my skeleton was dead.
Oh, you're right. Oh, wait. That skeleton it's a turn, so this is your turn.
Okay.
So this would be where you're doing your action. So you
I
could
gotta
reload
load.
and move, or you could drop your rifle. You could use it as a club. What would you like?
I'm going to reload my gun and back up until I feel a wall.
Smart.
So you can back up into the passageway that you came from as kind of like a tactical retreat. That would be the nearest wall to you. Otherwise, you could be by a back rear wall by a pile of skeletons, although you just don't know what's going to happen with that.
Let's get back in that. If I can navigate to that passageway, I know there's no light, so.
With your class, I could think that you could easily still reload your rifle even in darkness, since it's something that you're well trained to do. So I'll let you spend that round retreating in the dark of that passageway, kind of back towards the direction of Fast.
Okay.
And Hornswaggle is being possessed by Death Turtle. And
I have a question about that.
yes,
Like, it's a purely theological question. So while I'm being possessed by Death Turtle, where does my soul go? Am I just like kind of asleep, or am I like watching my own body, or I don't know? Am I having an out of body experience and just zipping around? You know.
what feels more natural
Are you in
for?
there with
I
them?
think me
Are you
zipping
into it?
around invisibly and going "ooh," but nobody can see or hear me sounds like the most fun. So that's what I'm doing. Nobody knows I'm doing it, but I'm doing it anyway.
So, are you going to be telling and commanding Hornswaggle's body, or are you letting Hornswaggle's have choice?
I'm gonna let Hornswaggle have choice,
Oh, control over my own body for a second.
control over
Cool.
your own body, but I also think we should get calamari after all this is said and done. 'Cause,
Yes.
I feel that we've.
Pacific Rim it,
it's a
just
date.
each
Yeah.
one side of
It's
the body.
100%.
Oh,
date.
he'll be my kaiju.
Yes.
All right, so let's see. We're still in the glowbones perimeter, right? And there's nothing that I can rapier at this distance, correct? Or am I still in combat with that skeleton that was? No, you nailed
No,
it.
you
didn't
destroy that one. So you can either take off one of the two that is attacking Death Turtle, or the other one
Yeah.
that is engaging Glowbones.
I'll take one of the two that's engaging Death Turtle, and I'll just take a whack at one of them with my rapier. That is a miss. That's let's see, 6. And strength is for attack, right? So that's -1. That's a 5. Yeah,
Yeah, even with your +2 bonus, it is not sufficient. But you throw yourself at the skeleton, and you at least get its attention. It turns and focuses on you. And just as a note, Death Turtle, if you really read the fine print on spiritual possession, it's basically Bane/Bless, not really puppeting. I like how we're using it, though, even though it's probably a little stronger than the spell's intended, but actually like staring at the stat block, we're probably abusing it.
Oh
'Cause
yeah,
it's really
I'm sure we are.
+2, -2, so we can
But you
always
didn't work.
Ian,
What?
we're not abusing it. We're home brewing it.
Hey, I just know that someone listening to the podcast would be like, well, that's not rules as written. And I'm like, well, you're right. Normally it would be rules are written, but I apparently misread it the first time and was going off. But It's more fun. This is a much more fun use
Look,
of that spell.
Its rules is written for the module that we're playing. So in the
Okay.
module's rules,
There we
that's
go.
how it's written.
I like that. We'll have it be canon for this adventure.
And to listener out there, whoever you may be, you're not my fucking mother.
If you find lint around your
Unless
house,
you
you'll know.
are, in which case, thanks for listening.
Wow, you actually pay attention to me the first time in 4 years.
Ooh.
Anyways.
I wanted to say something like pithy or witty, but I think that we'll just let that speak justice unto itself. Top of the skeletons initiatives, you hear the thump and clunk of that large skeleton. You're assuming it's coming in your direction, but again, the light is very faint in this space. You can just barely make out its feet on the edge of Glowbone's light, and you hear the sound of what almost sounds like a torpedo, or that high-pitched keening whistling sound as something flies hurriedly towards the party of you. Actually, let's see who gets it. And it's going to be Glowbones, because he is the most brightly lit thing.
Makes sense.
So that giant cudgel that the skeleton was holding, he is thrown it as hard as he can as a projectile towards poor Glowbones. And you want me to roll for him? And he rolls a 12. That is not dramatic. I wanted you to have the extinguishing, the dying of the light. And Glowbones sees the ash on the floor and decides to try to get some off of the floor. And comically, almost, that giant cudgel flies over him and it clacks along the corridor's wall, just barely hitting Spike. Just barely misses by just a foot.
And now he's unarmed. That dumb fuck.
Well, let's just see what happens to Glowbones by doing some ash.
Ooh.
Good point.
Glowbones. You know, I also thought that Glowbones is actually on a roll. Glowbones has rolled well for everything. And at the beginning of the campaign, Burnout, I rolled a 19. That is exactly what he just rolled. So, oh, sorry, he didn't get 19. No, sorry. Burnout had rolled out something different. He rolled, you are one with the universe, the permanent +1 to spirit. NPCs don't have stats, but apparently Glowbones is going to have +1 to spirit, and you see that his bones are glowing brighter than before.
Ooh.
Except for that nasty wound in his shoulder, he is twice as bright now.
No.
Every time he blinks, it's like a flicking of a light switch as well. It's very weird. All right, the two skeletons that are by you, Depth Turtle, one is now going towards Hornswaggle. The other one is going to be slashing out at you. Roll your defense.
No, thank you, skeleton. Oh. I'm going to use a devil's luck because I rolled a 1.
Ooh.
Yeah.
As
So
you
I'm
begin to
gonna
tap the
reroll.
devil's luck, the bright glow of Glowbones kind of flickers a bit, as if you are toggling with the power in this place by drawing on devil's luck.
All right. And then my so that roll is that's a 5. So -1, that's a 4.
You said it was like you're toggling the power of the place with the devil's luck. Hornswaggle don't want his bones toggled.
That's not what I heard.
Ooh.
Fair.
So the skeleton slashes out with its rusty blade once again, and it cuts you across the gut for another 3 points of damage.
Well, with that, Death Turtle falls to the ground,
Bummer.
lifeless.
You are below 0 then?
I am below 0. I am at
A
-1.
moment of silence for Death Turtle.
R.I.P. to a real one.
He died as he lived.
Hmm?
So yes, you are trying to hold on Devil's Luck. You're trying to hold on to every advantage. You have this vision of the sea and yourself falling in it, like submerging and falling deeper and deeper into the abyss. And you see the thirsting claws of Bossaton come clacking at you, and then nothingness.
That's what happened to my soul too.
Take me home, Basatan. Take me home.
Yeah.
Country
Second player
crab.
killed
clack
by this
home.
monster.
Wow.
Hey, I'm doing my
your
job.
Yeah.
So Horns.
Finally, Jake's still
Hornswaggle
alive.
skeleton is advancing towards you. It has pulled out a dagger and it is tossing it from hand to hand, and it reaches out to shank you. Roll your defense.
Let's see if it actually connects. I'll tell you one thing: tossing it from hand to hand that's not good knife fighting.
Well, this is probably why he died.
Yeah, and this shows it. Nat 20.
Okay,
let's
so
see what
when you
my
do that, you get a free
modifier for
counterattack.
agility is- Oh, cool! And my agility is +1, so that's actually a 21. Free counterattack. Let me rapier this guy real quick. And I don't. That's not an automatic hit, right? It's DR 12.
It's DR12.
Okay, so that's a 14 modified, so
You-
I definitely hit him.
Definitely get this.
Definitely. Now let me roll damage. 1 point of damage. A mighty 1 point.
Well, so you flick out a couple of its ribs, and it keeps juggling the knife and looks down and sees Death Turtle. What weapon did you wield on life?
I had a belaying pin.
All right, he drops the dagger and pulls out, takes the belaying pin from your cooling hands. All right, so Burnout, you have rattled this kind of congregation. Head priest does seem unfazed by your intrusion, and you hear him muttering to a large, like black sphere that is set on top of the altar. He turns and he barks something to a cultist on the left and a cultist on the right. One strikes a gong and the other one strikes a bell. Everyone above can hear this as this a very deep resonant sound that gets louder as it funnels out of that hole in that altar, and it reverberates in this space. It is almost the sound of like funeral chimes and like tolling morose sound, and as it comes out of that sacrificial altar, it almost has the sound of a whale, or of like a wailing, but I guess a whale works as well. You can see movement in the water beyond. The shaft of the cenote begins to grow dark, and you see something begin to filter up and out of it, advancing towards the shoreline, towards where you have Steamboat Willie in a cage.
All right.
I realized I didn't give them their turn this round.
You don't have to. It's fine. Don't worry about that.
Let me just wrap that up. The priest turns and he looks at you, and he has his staff. He speaks another line of strange words, and when you hear them, again, it's that sound of murder and butchery given language, and it makes your ears feel like it's bleeding. In fact, you'd see more energy kind of rolling out of his mouth, except this time it's almost green and vaporous. I need you to roll me a toughness check.
Okay. Okay, that's a 15 plus 1. So 16.
Okay. All right. You are so resolute in your righteous anger that these words do not penetrate into your skull. You rebuff them with your hatred of him and how much you desire to grab your monkey back. And you resist whatever this terrible spell is that this priest is weaving. As you are watching the scene unfold, you see that blackness coming out of that cenote is spiny-like and moving, and they are starting to spill out towards where Steamboat Willie is. And with the next round, it will swarm him.
All right.
Now you can take your turn.
I would like to beeline Steamboat Willie, grab him by the cage, because I assume it's not easy to open, and make my way back up towards the stairs.
If you are doing that, you are going to be running past two cultists that may impede you a bit. Are you willing to take that risk?
Yeah, I am. I am willing to take that risk.
All right. So one of them... So actually, technically, only one of them should be able to take an action against you, because one was ringing the gong. So the cultist skeleton reaches out at you, and you don't know how a skeleton can convey worry or fear on a muscleless, fleshless face, but it does. Like it's trying to hold you back, as if, like, you shouldn't be interrupting what is about to unfold. So you can, in this instance, instead of an agility, you can roll me a strength because it is trying to restrain you.
All right, that is a dirty 19.
Okay. So you break free from its grab, and you rush up and you pick up the small cage that Steamboat Willie is in. From this view, as you look into the waters, you see the things that are rushing up are black coral crabs. There are these terribly spiky crustaceans, as if, imagine a sea urchin had a little clickety-clackities out in front of it and were very angry and voracious.
Oh shit! Are these guys Bossaton cultists?
Can I yell praise Bossaton? Yeah.
These are not crabs as you would know them, but they are harbingers for something much worse,
Okay.
deep lower
They're a
in the
corruption
cenote.
of the
You can
natural crabliness that is good unto Bossaton.
Has had an opportunity to really study the back mural above the altar to really see what these things are worshiping, since you've had interchanges of the lights and other things. But I'm sure that if you stay down here long enough, Burnout, you'll find out exactly what these people have been worshiping.
No, I don't want to. I want to grab my monkey, yell praise Bossaton, and make my way out. Did you say there was an orb?
There's an orb.
I'd like to destroy orbs, as we know.
Ponder that orb for a second.
Ponder it first.
So you grab your monkey and you can make your way halfway up, like that beach towards the stairs, because that's a lot of actions kind of happening there at once. But
Sure.
Steamboat Willie is still shrieking his head off and just staring out the creeping black tide of doom. Death Turtle, you are feeling your soul being kind of snipped and ripped into various parts. As you are kind of contemplating your fleeting mortality and existence, what are your final thoughts? Do you think of loved ones, of revenge, of the spirits?
I wish I would have got to know Hornswaggle a little better.
Thank you. It was nice while it lasted.
It was, wasn't it? It was nice. I mean,
We had some tender moments.
yeah. I still ate that calamari dinner, but okay. And bye.
Off he goes.
A great epithet for a great turtle. So you, as you are feeding mortal coil, you, Violent K comes screeching like a parrot out of hell through the large chamber and right back to where you are, deep in a reverie, a torpor, if you will, Fastinus. And you have never heard such pained and agonized squawks and yelps from your parrot companion than ever before.
Calm down, calm down. What's all this then? Why are you so freaked out?
Are you able to communicate with your parrot?
It has a basic vocabulary. I don't know how well it can communicate what it saw, but
all right, yeah, because I mean, if it's like an African gray parrot, then absolutely, like those things are quite smart.
Super smart birds.
He squawks because I'm thinking about what words your parrot might know. Danger, sea, monster, and knowing you, fuck. And it just screams fuck a whole lot. It starts saying shit, and then this goes immediately to fuck, fuck, fuck.
Aye. Army friends in danger.
Catch it.
Should we go and help them?
They go.
I'm so you to shell fuck at me again. I don't know that Fast would go down there.
Fuck.
That's right, my friend.
I agree.
Fucking
The parrot turns and it kind of does that little like glare stare thing, and all it says is bitch.
Oh.
I reach over and scratch, between the feathers
Yeah.
of the head,
Yeah,
and
like
then
little feathers go up.
offered a piece of the just disgustingly destroyed tomato I've been eating. But yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I just don't think Fast would go down there. Consider Fast has no weapon and no light source.
I mean that's valid.
It's better for me if he gets out of the passage entirely, because I'm coming down that thing, and if I can't get past him,
Oh,
we have a problem.
if I see you coming, I'll step aside.
Okay.
So Spike, there's that giant cudgel that just missed you by a little bit. You know that, boy, if you were just a foot down the whole corridor, it would have conked you a good one. You see Violet K fly above you, and you're kind of catching some fucks. And is that a bitch you hear as well?
Yeah. I think I'm gonna run for it.
Okay, so you running back out into the plaza, or are you hanging out inside with Fastinus?
Oh no, I'm running back out into the plaza.
When you do that, you kind of hear that weird air pressure sound again, and you're back into like that full throttle of that weird silence. And it was just like you've walked into white noise, and you could just, that kind of juxtaposition of the weird cacophony of battle and then now being in weird silence, you kind of get the feeling of that this place is a terrible curse and a blight on this island. You don't know what exactly happened. But you can see that the faint glimmering light is of a far distant sunrise is beginning to tease the horizon just a bit. Any other actions you're wanting to do now that you are safely outside the temple?
Gon's rosy fingers are just tickling that shoreline.
Yeah, no, I'm going to echo the parrot's fuck and run for it.
Your fucks go into the void. You're, a snowflake of fuck in a snowstorm. It is not heard by anything. It is a puff and nothing more. Next is you, Hornswaggle. You feel that spiritual possession leave you as Death Turtle is cut into ribbons.
Oh, tragic. It's a bummer. But I'm more focused on eliminating the threat at hand. So
you do feel like this. I wish I got to know you better as you kind of come back to your senses.
Also, move my body.
I'll see you soon, probably.
At least grab the med kit.
Yeah. So yeah, I hate to keep doing the same thing over and over, but rapier. Let's see what we can do with that. And the answer is a nat 1, so not much.
Oh, I think that's the first nat 1 that we've had in combat yet so far.
Yep.
So as you are, roll me odds or evens.
Okay,
Which one are you calling?
roll D6, and I'm going to call evens. Come on. Oh, and it is my day because it's a 2.
Okay. So as you swipe out at the skeleton, he parries with his dagger and he knocks it free from your hand, but it does not break.
Okay.
So it scatters to the ground, and you're not sure exactly what's happened to Burnout. It's been a while since you've seen him, but you saw Violent K. Are you wanting to do any other actions or movement in this moment?
Retreat, like, is retrieving my sword something I can do?
It is what further into the chamber. If you were to back out, then you would be leaving your rapier behind.
Yeah, I'm gonna back out, leaving the rapier.
Yeah. So you tactfully start to retreat away from the skeleton. It
Yeah,
watches
fighting
you.
tactical withdrawal. Much like the Acadians, Hornswaggle does not retreat. He does a tactical fighting withdrawal.
This skeleton looks at the belaying pin he just picked up and looked at the fancy rapier he just tossed. And you see him drop the belaying pin and move over towards the rapier.
Honestly, I think that's a bad choice. I think he's trading down.
If he was really smart, he would still be alive. So we, as you are, and we can kind of do this as an action montage. So as you're tactfully retreating, Glowbones retreats with you, so that way he isn't left in a lurch, and all of you start to slink back. So that leaves 3 skeletons up and in the chamber, along with the giant one that is beginning to pursue you out of this place. Burnout is still downstairs. So we are okay. I mean, everyone's talking about retreating. Burnout.
Yeah.
You have Steamboat Willie in your hands. You have 4 cultists and a high priest down there with you. A creeping tide of scary, not Bossaton, sea urchin crab monstrosities with something else worse lurking below it, summoned by the bell and the gong. And you're also fascinated by that orb. What are your actions? We'll put a little spotlight on and to see how this end of this story is going to play out.
Well, see, I feel like destroying the orb's a good idea, but I also feel like staying here is a horrible idea. And risk reward.
I think you should destroy the orb.
Okay, here's my logic. If I destroy the orb, if I can destroy the orb, problem there. If it might or might not do anything. I could destroy the orb and then like whatever's coming out might just go away, or it might just be like, well, you destroyed our orb, but the thing's still gonna kill you.
Counterpoint, the cultist was afraid you were going to interfere with the orb in some way and try to stop you. Second point, Boston sent us here probably to put an end to this abomination. You destroy the orb, you're doing Boston's will, baby.
I'm going to just put a point of clarity because it helps you to make your decision. He was more worried about you interfering with taking the monkey from the tide of crab things.
Okay, so if I stay to destroy the orb, that helps them. Don't like that. I still have my pocket ash from 2 episodes ago, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do I do the ash in a last ditch attempt to give myself the extra speed and motivation to get out of there, or do I just take it and go into the cultists area, making them have to deal with the ash?
They're skeletons. They're skeletons. They don't breathe.
For some reason, yeah, that's true. That's true. I was for some reason thinking that cultists down there were still human.
No, it's all skeletons.
Okay.
So You should rail some definitely.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and see, what have you got to lose?
you-
Well, I
are
put
you-
that on the first episode.
Are you double barrel action?
I mean,
Oh.
I
You have
am.
two nostrils.
I take my monkey out of the cage, put him on my shoulder, and then I
do have a monkey on
smash
your
it
back
for him
now,
to do
yeah.
a bump too. Yeah,
All right, because you said you had 2 units. Are you taking both of them, or are you giving
I
one
am
to you
taking
and to
one.
Willie?
I'm giving the one to Willie. Willie gets the
Okay.
bump too. If we're gonna die,
you
we're
need-
gonna go out like ash addicted pirates, like we are.
Mhm.
Okay.
As Bassetan.
All right. Then roll do the first D20 for you, and then do the second one for Steamboat.
All right, 2d20s. Okay, so I have a 12, and Steamboat has a 9.
Interesting. Okay. All right. I'm really liking how this is going to play out, and this is a great way for us to do a couple of scenes and draw this event for its close. So for you, as you are doing your bump, time slows down. You can take 2 actions or attacks each round.
Okay.
I will let you do your actions first before we find out what happens to Steamboat Willie.
Okay.
Take your 2 actions, then the monkey can go, and then cultists and skeletons will go, and we'll see.
Just run like
If-
hell, man.
Yeah, exactly. This is Quicksilver in one of those X-Men movies that had him, where I'm just like, and then I just go hyperspeed.
Nice.
I
just
enjoyed
leave-
those sequences. Yeah.
Okay, so you aren't
Yeah,
doing anything else. You're leaving the orb be. You're just running.
yeah, because your extra information about they were more concerned about the monkey. I can't let them have the monkey.
And I can't
Yes.
math that well, but between the cove and the upstairs, I think there's like 7 skeletons total.
There's going to be so upstairs there's 3 that are basically still in functioning form, plus the giant hulking one. Downstairs you have 5, so it's not
Nine.
not great in your favor. So
9 skeletons.
all right,
But
so
better than crabs?
No,
I-
my point is running is like, yeah, what you should focus on.
so
Okay.
you're going to use your 2 actions to basically get almost to the front of the temple. I will need you to roll me 2 defense attacks. One's going to be for the mob of skeletons that are normal, and then one's going to be for the brute skeleton. And that's going to figure out if you make it out or not.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, so normal skeletons.
Normal
did you roll?
skeletons are 3.
Okay. And how about for the big one?
What's the modifier? Is it agility or strength?
Agility is defense.
Okay, so that would be a 0.
Oh. Oh, okay. Then the normal skeletons
They tenderize
inflict
you.
3 points of damage, which you may or may not soak because you're wearing your conquistador armor.
How much
I want you
damage?
to go ahead and roll that. Is your conquistador
3
is
points.
what's that?
D6. How much? I didn't hear what you said about the damage amount.
It was 3
points.
points.
I rolled a 6 on a D6.
Holy shit! You might just fucking pull out of this. Okay, so you don't take any damage from the blinks and stabs of the regular skeleton, but that huge brute is going to bring both his fists down, and his damage is. Let me look him up. Stand by.
Tickle damage.
He just blows me a
Tickle
kiss
damage.
and it crits, and I'm forever in love with him. And I just have to go on longing for that giant Tifatal skeleton the rest of my life. That's it, right?
Oh,
That's
shit.
the way it
You might-
ends.
inflicts 5 points of bludgeoning damage upon you. Roll your soak. I am.
So that was a 1, so that means 4. So I'm still at 5 hit points because I have 10.
Holy shit. Then
You did scrape out of there.
Then, as the final kind of montage, you get out of the temple.
Uh-huh.
Steamboat Willie.
Oh, does he go
looks-
flying out head over heels? Since he got hit by the big skeleton.
Yeah. It's got the goofy.
Wow, that was practiced. So Steamboat Willie, in the thralls of Ash, is a little bit foaming at the mouth, looks at the far distant light crescenting over the horizon, hisses at it, and then continues to turn and start chewing at your skull.
He doesn't mean it. He doesn't mean it at all. He's fine.
He is
He's a good boy.
bloodthirsty to get inside of your skull. And Ash lasts for 2d6 rounds. So for 6 rounds, Steamboat Willie is trying to do nothing but eat your brains.
Okay, I am holding him like this and running to the boat.
That is where we're going to draw for this evening, is you spent all this time trying to rescue Steamboat Willie. But if you were to be taken down by that skeleton, he would have just done nothing but just eat your brains. Because when you roll a 9 for the Ash table, you fear the sun and thirst for blood, brains, or both.
Okay.
Only for D6, like only for
Man, Ash
6
is a hell of a
turns, though,
drug.
because-
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's 2d6
Yeah,
minutes.
at
so
least
that's
it wears
6 minutes.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least that wears off. I mean, mine was permanent brain damage when I got that result. It was
Yeah.
-1 point to all your stats forever.
Yep. And Glowbones just found a more spiritual awareness. All right, then in that case, you have survived going inside the temple. You're not sure exactly what the cult was doing, what was happening, but you have escaped with all of your hides intact, except you have left a death turtle and his remains inside the temple, and you're not sure what is going to be happening to his remains.